Okay, thank you. So today we are up to the discussion of factoring higher degree polynomials. Factoring higher degree polynomials. So when we say factoring higher degree polynomials, it's not just about factoring using the different factoring methods, but this time we need to apply all those factoring methods plus new methods of factoring higher degree polynomials for us to be able to fully factor or the polynomial, the given polynomial. Okay, now let's have first with this one. This is already discussed in the video that we posted in our arrow links, so I will not be repeating this anymore. I would like to dwell more on our. Let's try this activity. Ready? Okay, let's have this. At syempre, there are also times that I want to improve the given para mas exciting. Okay? Let's have this one. Factoring tayo agad ha. One of the most common factoring methods that we use is the factoring general trinomial. Let's just have a review. Pero yung common monomial factor muna tayo. Let's have this. For example, we have x raised to 8 minus 3x raised to 5 minus 28x squared. Okay. So, one way for us to factor this is, of course, dapat ma-extract lahat ng mga factors to all the single factors of this given polynomial. First thing to always check whenever we factor are the common factors in our given. Common factors. Do you see a common factor among the terms in our given? There are three terms. This, and this. Do you see common factor among them in the coefficients and in our variables? Kindly type your answer in the chat box if you notice a common factor among all them. Let me see if you notice the common factor. Type it in the chat box, please. Let it be an interactive discussion. Please participate so I would know if you can follow the discussion. Yes, there is, sabi po. And the answer is, uy, meron naman nagsabi to, none. Okay, none po. Okay. So, ano nga bang totoo? Some of them says there is and some say there's none. Good thing we went to the review muna kasi kailangan pala tayong mag-review. So, there is or there's none. Let's see if there's a common factor. First, of course, is to check the coefficients of your given. Yan, coefficients. When we say coefficients, the numbers in front. In here, we have 1, but it's not written. So, we have 1, 3, and 28. Is there a common factor among all this except 1? 1, of course, is a common factor. What about other numbers? That's common. There's none. For the coefficients, there's none. Now, let's move on with our variables. X raised to 8, x raised to 5, x squared. X raised to 8, x raised to 5, and x squared. Do you see a common factor? What's the common factor among them? Type it in the chat box, please. Yes, there is an x. However, what is the highest degree na pwede maging common factor sa lahat? What's the highest degree of the x that can be used as common among all these variables? It's x squared. Very good. Why not x raised to 5? Why not x raised to 5? Simply because x squared will not fit in to the 5. Tama yung sinabi ng classmate natin, the least exponent. Very good. So therefore, our common factor here is x squared. Okay? So that's good enough for us to be reviewed about that common factor. Let's now continue. Let me remove this now. Now that it's clear na meron tayong common factor, let's now have this. So let that common factor be taken out. X squared. That's the common factor. Now let's divide each term. Imagine you divide each term by x squared, x squared, x squared. Now we are back to the division of polynomials last week. Tell me the remaining factor for this. Tell me the remaining factor for this. Type it in the chat box, please. Divide each term by x squared because we are factoring out x squared. So therefore, what is the remaining factor for this? Go. Type it in the chat box. Type it in the chat box. X raised to 6. What else? So we have here, remember when we divide, we just subtract the exponents. That becomes 6. That becomes 3. Oh, sige nga, what's left? So we have here x raised to 6. X raised to 6 minus 3x cubed minus 28. Now that's correct. Very good. And now, what will we do next? Is this completely factored out already? Yes or no? Type it in the chat box. Keep your chat box open. No, it's not yet. So we now have this x squared, which will just follow our process. And then in here we have x raised to 6 minus 3x cubed minus 28. Factor this. Let's factor this. Now, since kung napansin niyo, it's a trinomial, and notice that the exponents are 6 and then divided by 2, it became 3. Therefore, this is in the format of a general trinomial. Para siyang x squared minus 3x minus 28. Can you follow? It's like this kasi our exponent here is 2 and our exponent here is 1. So half of 2 is 1. So therefore, we can do this factoring. And how is this factored? Just recall, factors of x squared, x and x. Factors of 28, wherein when we combine them, it will become 3. Sige nga. What are the factors of 28? 7, 14, 8, 16, 24, 9, 18, 27. What are the factors of 28? Sige nga. What are the factors? To give 2 factors of 28. Type it in the chat box. 4 and 7. 7, 14, 21, 28. Very good. So we have here 4 and 7. Now, we don't know yet the signs in the middle. But look at this. It should be negative. When you multiply them, it should be negative. So therefore, one is positive, one is negative. And when you combine those terms, it should be a negative 3. It should be a negative 3. Which is positive and which is negative? Sige nga. Type it in the chat box. Since it's a negative 28, one should be positive, one should be negative. Now, to get a negative 3, when you combine these two, what should be the signs of each? Okay, so negative 7 should be negative and 4 should be positive. Let's double check. 4 times negative 7, it's negative 28. That's correct. So no problem. Now, when we combine them, the two, 4 minus 7, the answer is negative 3. So we got negative 3 there. Therefore, we got the correct symbols, which are 4 and negative 7. Okay, so that is if it's x squared and 1. Can you follow? But now we have 6 and 3. We will do the same pattern of factoring. Okay? Again, just like what I tell you, we always go back to the regular factoring methods in factoring these higher degree polynomials. Okay? Let's continue. Shall we? Let's do this. Let's factor x raised to 6. Half. Let it be x raised to 6. I know, x cubed and x cubed. Hati-hati. Kasi 3 plus 3, it becomes 6. Can you follow? Show a reaction if that first step is clear to you. Show a reaction if that first step is clear to you. Good. Thank you. Next. So we are done with this. Okay na doon. Let's now move on with 28. What are the factors of 28? What are the factors of 28? Okay, type it in the chat box, please. Actually, it's just the same as the previous example kasi we patterned it to the original process. So we have 4 and 7, correct? 4 and 7 din po. But what should be their signs? What should be their signs? 4 and 7 din po. Now, I want the specific patterns. So we have here 4 and 7. What should be their signs? Same process tayo, negative 28 and negative 3. Exactly. We have negative 7 and negative 4. Okay, that's it. Now, can we still factor out this further? Look at this. So far, we have 3 grouped factors. This, and this. X squared, x cubed minus 4, and x cubed minus 7. Okay, can we still what do you call this? Can we still factor this out further? Sir, but negative po. Chine-check ko lang kung nakikinig kayo. That's positive. Very good. So, okay, going back. Can we still factor this out? Yes or no? Can this still be factored out? Yes or no? Or I don't know. Or you have 3 options. Yes, no, or I don't know po. Type into the chat box. Type into the chat box. I don't know po. Okay. So the real answer here is it cannot be factored out anymore. Ang ganya mo ka rin. Why? Because it's cubed. Our leading term is cubed, and for us to do further factoring out here, its partner should also be a perfect cube. But it's 4. 4 is not a perfect cube. Sana kung 1 yan, we can still factor it out. However, it's not anymore. So let it remain like this. Okay? And that's it. That is the factored form of this polynomial. Got it? Do you have a question about that? Did you get that? Show a reaction, please, regarding how you understood that process. Okay, thank you. Easy lang daw, easy lang. Okay, good. Let's continue. Shall we? What about a little more exciting given? Breathe in, breathe out muna. Breathe in, breathe out. Ready? Okay. Breathe in. Breathe out. Ayan. Siyempre kailangan kasi nakakapag-ano tayo. Nakakapag breathe in, breathe out kasi that's important in our discussion. Let's now continue. Let me copy this. And paste it here. Yan. So that for every example, meron tayong title. Okay. Let's have this one. Ready? Ready? Let's have number 2. So we have P of X. P of X is also a symbol for polynomial. Huh? P of X is equal to 2x raised to 5 plus 3x raised to 4 minus 2x plus 3. Okay. Go. So, first thing to do, check if there's a common factor. Is there a common factor? Yes or no? Type it in the chat box, please. Is there a common factor among all the terms? Yes or no? Keep your chat box open. No, there's none. Good. So if there's none, can we do other factoring methods here? Can we do what we did earlier here? Can we do something like this? Ito, general trinomial. Is it a trinomial? Is it a trinomial? No, it's not a trinomial. So therefore, our previous method is not applicable here. Oh, what else should we do? Since hindi na siya um, general trinomial, it's actually a polynomial. It has 4 terms, multinomial. So therefore, one thing that we can do is do the factoring by grouping. Are you familiar with factoring by grouping? Yes or no? Yes, very good. There's one who still remembers the factoring by grouping. Yes, very good. To those who remembers. Oh, let me see through your reactions. Show me if you can remember still factoring by grouping. If not, choose other reactions which may tell me na hindi ko na po yun natatandaan. Go, let me see. Show me your understanding or your recall about the factoring by grouping. Okay, so therefore, based on your reactions, lots of you are now lost in the process. Okay, no problem. Makinig, makinig, makinig. This is actually very easy. Ready? Kumaga, I'm presenting you different ways so that you can do lots of possible patterns. Okay? Game. So this is the factoring by grouping. How do we do that? So sabi ko kasi, just like what I told you a while ago, first is to check if there's a common factor. There is no common factor among all these terms. 2, 3, 2, 3. Uy, there's a pattern. I hope you notice that. 2, 3, 2, 3. Uy, something is being expressed here, pero please observe that. Don't forget that thing, huh? Remember this. So we are still checking, and we are still checking the common factor, and there's none for the coefficients. Looking at our, let me erase this first. Looking at our variables, do we have a common variable? X raised to 5, x raised to 4, x, and there's none. So therefore, there's also no common variable. So if that's the case, the common monomial factor is not for this yet, because we don't know when we move further. Now, pero sabi ko sa inyo kanina, please, I hope you observe 2, 3, 2, 3. There's a pattern. When there is a pattern, and there it's 4, it has 4 terms. So therefore, pwede natin gamitin yung factoring by grouping, which can be grouped here. As you have noticed, this can be grouped, and this can be grouped as well. Pwede ba? Palagay nyo? Can that be grouped? Pwede po ata. Sabi niya ganon. O, sige. Okay. O, gawin na natin. Pwede. Pwede siya. Okay. Just like what I told you a while ago, I hope you noticed that 2, 3, 2, 3. So, pwedeng magkaroon na pareho sila ng terms bandang huli. Okay? Ready? But wait. There's more. Something must be observed here. Sige nga. What do you think should be done here? Who can still remember the process? Oh no, it's just 1 minute left. While we join again in our process, kindly try doing the factoring by grouping here. And then, we will get back into the process when we return. Okay? Last minute lang siya. Para di tayo siya mabitin. Okay? I'll end this now. Join again.